I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes, a curiosity. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Same old song, just a drop of water in an endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Hi everyone, Jerrel here. I'm still not back to my regular upload schedule, but I just wanted to share a bit of the Autoharp with you. It's kind of late at night. It's my favorite instrument these days. So I want to just address the two biggest mistakes that you make when you're playing the Autoharp. There's so many things, like any other instrument. There's so much nuance, there's so much to the technique, and there's so much improvement you can go on. And that's what I think is the most exciting thing about any kind of form of art throughout life, is that you can constantly improve, you can constantly refine and learn more. So the most important thing that you can get wrong when you're playing the Autoharp is that you don't push the buttons hard enough. It may seem kind of simple and obvious, but as your felt wears down on the Autoharp, you have to push harder in order to get a full, clean sound out of your instrument. And depending on the music that you're playing, your chord bars will wear out at an uneven rate. So say, for example, I play a lot of Irish music and a lot of, say, for example, folk music and traditional music. Much of that music is in the key of G. So my G chord wears out significantly faster than my other chords. So I can say, like, play an F chord and put, just a minor amount of tension, pressure on there. That's the F chord, but then with the G chord, if I try to use the same amount of pressure, I can hear it, I'll exaggerate it a little bit, but if you don't push hard enough, you're going to have some strings muted. And you get a weak sound out of that. There on the A minor, I'm not pressing it hard enough. You hear that sound? So it's not properly muting all the strings. I'll have to push a little harder now. And now you have a nice, clear, clean sound out of that. So that's something to keep in mind. Sometimes it's just good to do a sound check when you're not playing music. You just sit and you just try your chords, check with the pressure that you're applying, and make sure that the pressure that you're applying is sufficient. Okay, that's enough pressure. And it's something to keep in mind that you don't want to put too much pressure, because if you are too forceful with your instrument, that is going to cause the felt to wear out faster, and you will exacerbate the issue. So it's a little frustrating to me when people say that the Autoharp is like this easy instrument. Oh, it's simple and easy, it's not a real instrument. There's a significant amount of thought that goes into it, and technique, and this is one of those things that you need to consider, is use just force. Use the right amount of pressure. Don't do too much pressure, because that will cause your felt to wear out, which means you'll have to replace it sooner. That's messy. I'm not pushing hard enough on the G, which means I'll have to push a little harder. Okay, that's right. So that's really the most important thing, and usually probably the most common thing that goes wrong when you're playing the Autoharp. And secondly, the second worst mistake and the most common mistake that you can make when you're playing the Autoharp is that you're muting the resonating surface on the back. And it's quite easy and it's common to do that. That usually occurs when you rest your shoulder on the back of that instrument, on the back of the resonating surface. This is where your vibrations are occurring, really, and you need that to remain free and unrestricted. Unlike a guitar, which has a significant resonating surface and a resonating chamber, the Autoharp chamber, that's got a funny accent tonight. The resonating chamber on the Autoharp is small. It's quite a small instrument. And if one day I'll get a luthier to build an Autoharp for me, and I would just love a massive resonating chamber. I would like it to come out a bit farther. I would like a false back on that, so I could rest it on my shoulder. So that's on my wish list, you know. So one way to address that is to make sure that your shoulder is not resting on that, but you're actually using your forearm to support the edge of the instrument here. And that's part of the technique. And at some point, you know, as you're adjusting, you may need to just slightly rest your shoulder on it. But if you can, avoid making any contact with the rear of the instrument, because that actually mutes the tone. I'm not sure how well it'll come through on the phone microphone here, but I'll mute the back here. I'll mute it because people tend to sort of grip the instrument as well. And I have a video that helps explain the grip on how to hold the Autoharp. But I'll mute the A minor here. That's where my shoulder's resting on the back. Okay, and now I'll hold it properly and I'll avoid making contact with the back. I'm not sure if the difference will come through, but I'll do it again. So here it is, making contact with the back of the instrument. Versus it doesn't just affect the we say tone, but it's really the timbre, timbral quality of the instrument, but it affects projection and your sustain as well. And if you're just sitting at home on the couch and whatnot, and you're just playing for yourself, it doesn't really matter. But if you are playing for other people, I like to explore mountain towns and old gold mining towns. I like to hang out with people, and we'll sing songs and play along together. And if you're in an environment where you really need to be heard, if you're in a pub environment, your instrument's going to have significantly less projection if you're making contact with the back. So that is the second most common and worst mistake that you could make, is to mute the instrument by making contact with the back of the instrument. All right, that's all I've got for today. I hope that was interesting for all of you. I know I didn't format this as like a more formal sort of a lesson video or anything. My work it's been crazy this year. Work has been brutal. Okay, I hope you're all well. Please take care of yourselves. Come home again soon, and I'll leave the porch light on for you.